My name is Lou Del Bianco. I'm an actor, singer, and storyteller, and I'm here to share with you my life as an artist, all right, how I became an author, and what inspired me to write a non-fiction illustrated book for kids your age. So let's get started, huh? But when I was in second grade, around 7 to 8 years old, I found this old tape recorder in my house. And I held it in my hands and I looked around and I thought, nobody's here. And I decided to take a chance and express myself.
Oh, no, you don't. You're not going to there. Well, I didn't do anything. Yes, you did. So, that song started to fight.
And then when I was 15 years old, I went to high school and I decided for the first time I would take a big chance and express myself, and I went and auditioned for the high school play. Well, let me tell you something, I was afraid, really afraid. I could remember walking up the steps, my mouth was dry, my forehead was beaded with sweat, my legs were going to give way, I felt like I was going to faint. But I pushed through it, I auditioned, and guess what? I got a part in the school play. I did. And you know what? I took a chance. Taking a chance is always better than doing nothing. But I stopped getting acting jobs, and I felt like giving up. So I decided to take another chance and express myself this way. With kids. I started working with children your age, and I loved it. I still love it. I could express myself, and I started telling stories again, just like I did when I was 7 years old in that little tape recorder. And then more publishers said, we won't publish your book. And then I started feeling like this. Oh, God. I really felt like giving up. But then I decided to take a chance, because I found out that a lot of authors were publishing the books themselves. Self-publishing. That's right, self-publishing. I found that I could publish the book by myself. I hired a book designer. I hired an editor to make the words work really well, and I worked with a partner named Anthony Fasano, and when we were done, ta-da! I published Out of Rushmore's Shadow, the Luigi Del Bianco story, all about my grandpa. I became an author, and I'm much happier now. I published the book myself. Yes, I always wanted to write an illustrated nonfiction book for kids, and that's where we are here now. This is the book. Abe Lincoln says, don't give up. I am an expert on Abraham Lincoln, and I'm here to share this book with you. When I was born on a prairie farm, my cousin held me in his arms. This boy won't come to much, he said. Then 3 big words came to my head.
Don't give up!
Fabulous. I held my baby head up high and raised my fist up to the sky. My baby legs stood straight and tall. I cried, I'll show you one and all. I had to fight a civil war to save our country, and what's more, I freed the slaves. I always knew my dream would finally come true. Everyone?
Don't give up!
And give it up for Abraham Lincoln says, don't give up. Great job, everyone. Ready, and go. 1, 2, 3. Abraham Lincoln.
Don't give up!
What's next? Snowboarding. Sewing. Sew.
Yeah!
Ice skating. Glide.
Whoa!
And everyone go, ta-da!
Ta-da!
That is fact. Give yourselves a big hand. Great experts. Great topics. And sit down when you see 3 fingers. Da-dum, da-dum, da-dum. What are you doing? But how does a book an idea form in your head about a book you want to write, how does it become a book you hold in your hand? That's an amazing thing. Well, if I was going to write about Abraham Lincoln not giving up, what do you think I would have to do?
Oh, do some research.
Do some research, learn about him, right? So that's what I did. I read books about Abraham Lincoln. I read books about his life, how he overcame. I collected all the stories that I read about Abraham Lincoln not giving up, and I put them to the side, and when I was done, I read 20 books about our 16th president. That's because I used juicy words and lots of detail so you could form a picture in your mind. And that's a great way to read a story or have it read to you. I could have said, Nicky was mean, Nicky was mad. That would have been all right. But how about make it juicier? Everyone say, he had fire in his eyes and smoke in his snout.
He had fire in his eyes and smoke in his snout.
It kind of reminds me of this. Everyone say, I had ice cream.
I had ice cream.
I mean, that's fine, but that's kind of like saying Nicky was mean. Let's make this juicier. Let's add juicy words and more details so you could form a picture in your mind of something much more than just vanilla ice cream. I had ice cream with. Raise your hand. Let's put some stuff on this ice cream. Make it more fun. Make it juicier. Yes?
With chocolate chips.
I had ice cream with chocolate chips. Let's add to it.
Sprinkles.
I had ice cream with chocolate chips and sprinkles.
A banana.
I had ice cream with chocolate chips, sprinkles, and a banana. I just like the way you said that. This is the way my story of Abraham Lincoln first started. Why, hey there, friend, what do you say? I thought I'd be alone today, but you are here, as you can see. Why don't you spend some time with me? I mean, that's fine. Why don't you spend some time with me? That's kind of like Nicky was mean, or I ate ice cream. I want to make this juicier. I want to give more details and better information. So I thought, why don't I talk the way Abraham Lincoln did 200 years ago? And this is what I came up with. I rewrote it. Why, howdy, friend, what do you say? I thought I'd be alone today, but you are here and all is well. Why don't you come and sit a spell? When you say hi to your friends today in 2019, do you say howdy?
No.
When you want to hang out with your friends, do you say, come and sit a spell?
No.
This is the way people talked 200 years ago. So not only did I make my story better, my words are juicier, I have better details, and I'm teaching readers the way people talked 200 years ago.
Wow.
What if Abraham Lincoln really lived today? Do you think he'd ever talk this way? Let's have a little fun with it. What if he talked like this? Yo, dude, what's up? What's happening, bro? Like, I'm just chilling out, you know. And so are you, and that's all right. So hang with me and play Fortnite! Do you think Abraham Lincoln played Fortnite?
Yeah.
So give me a thumbs up. So that's the process of my writing. It started out as a live show for children. And then I took all of those stories and I wrote them in rhyme using juicy words and the best and most important information and details. And now I had my biography. Here are some of the ones that gave us some samples. Kind of nice, right?
Oh.
What do you think of that? Yeah, okay.
No. Yeah.
That's cool. I almost went with this illustrator. I really liked him. That's cute.
Yeah, but not.
And then I saw this guy.
Oh.
This is the sketch that Patrick Carlson, who became my illustrator, sent me. I loved it because it's childlike but cool at the same time. This is the original drawing when Abe fixes his sister's foot. And this is what the final drawing looked like. Looks kind of different?
Oh, yeah.
Raise your hand and tell me how the final illustration is different from the original illustration and which illustration is more accurate to the telling of the story. Yes. So I had to keep rewriting my story. Patrick had to keep redrawing his story. We had to keep working over and over again until we were done. So in my life as an artist, I have found there are many ways to tell a story. You can tell the story.
What?
You can act out a story. You can sing a story. You can draw a story. and you can write a story. And all of you can do the same thing if you what?
Don't give up!
The author's visit was so beautifully presented and ties in perfectly with our writer's workshop. Right now my students are in various stages of the writing process in informational text, and your author's visit inspired us. We are all writing informational text about our expert topics, and to have you share with us your expert topic was just so inspiring. And we had our writer's workshop right after, and they were writing up a storm. So right now is a good time for us to get to our writer's workshop.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say.
Oh, good.
Yes.